It's like I feel so many different things where I'm like, I'm so inspired, and that's the fun thing about being an artist. And once you see the camera and you're like, wow, this is a tool. I see images all around me all the time. I'm scrolling on Instagram. I'm going to an art gallery and I'm seeing this, but I don't know how to use it. But once I did learn how to use the camera, I'm like, now I have access to make whatever I want.
Can you talk about the first time you like held a camera? Do you remember?
Yeah, I actually have, I don't know the name of it, but I actually have footage of me running around at some family party. I think it was my sister's 4th birthday party, and my dad had this video like camcorder, I don't know, but it could do pictures as well, where you do video and it has a picture button and it goes slowly like, and then it shows you for a second and then it fades out back into the video. And I have this clip of me taking a picture of my mom, and I was like, Mom, I took a picture. And then she's like smiling back at me, and that's my latest memory of actually using a camera. But I wasn't like, oh, this is my passion at 5, 6 years old, but like that's the farthest back I remember using a camera.
And that's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask, like, did you like always know you were gonna be like a film photographer?
Yeah, I'll never forget that moment. So I have been editing and making videos since the 6th grade, when my mom bought me my first laptop. And that was when YouTube was coming out. That's when I was watching all these shows on Cartoon Network or Disney Channel or movies, and I would like watch movies with my family, and I would be like, for example, there would be a cut from camera A to camera B, and I'm like, what is that? And my mom would be like, what are you talking about? I'm like, that moment. There it goes again. I'm like, how is this happening? And she didn't know how to really answer me, and I was like, I have to know how people are making these videos. And I watch YouTube all the time, and I started to make my own videos on my computer and put them up to YouTube. I would make like videos of like shows I'm watching on Toonami, put it on YouTube, and put some cool music on it. And then you get a comment, and you're like, oh, a comment, open. And then I remember a comment being like, yo, this video is so trash, like just take it down, this is terrible. And I'm like, wow, like, should I just stop?
Right.
Or should I try again? And then since then I've been like, okay, I want to outdo this, I want to do it again and again. And then I got better and better comments, better reviews, ratings, this and that, and then it became my hobby up until senior year of high school, and everybody's applying to this college and that college and going here and there, and I was always the C average student, always consistently, like I would try, like I cannot fake my interest, and I never do try that anymore. And so I'll be in science, I'll be in math, and I'll be reading words, but nothing is getting it. But the only time I would get an A in anything is if I made a video project. And I would look to make sure on the project details if I can do a video project like this. I'll do a video project. I would literally make a video on the presentation of Stephen Hawking's and like have it playing in the background while I'm presenting, but I knew exactly what was happening in the video, so as I'm speaking, what's happening behind me. It's like a moving and breathing presentation. My peers would be like, what is this? This is so cool, so amazing. And then in senior year, I made a film shot on an iPhone 4 called The Hayfield Experience, which was a mock on Ned's Declassified from my high school. And so I shot teachers, I shot my friends, I made all these scenes, and then they put on the school TV, and everybody saw it, everybody saw the video, and that was the first time a large collective group of people said, you're good at this. And that's when I decided, like, oh shoot, like, let me stop lying and be like, oh, I want to do computer science, all these things that sounded good. And my mom was in like cancer research, and so the pressure was big, and so I'm like, I don't want to take pictures, I want to do video, you know. So I was like, it was very difficult to convince her, but you know, she knew that I was passionate about something, and she let that happen. Yeah. And so we went around, shopped around different art schools, and decided to make a decision on Columbia College. So after editing, I was like, you know, I don't know anything about film, but the closest thing to this is maybe film school, so I'm going to give that a shot. And that's when I decided to leave Virginia and go to Columbia.
So what's something that you overcame that like took your artistic journey to like the next level? So like just a different phase.
Yeah, I had to overcome my entire personality. I was extremely shy, I was extremely timid, I was very mediocre most of my life, and I couldn't really speak up. My mom would be like, "Oh, stand in line at the grocery store." Like, "I gotta go get this." I'm like, "No." She'd be like, "Just call this contractor real quick." And she passed me the phone. I'm like, just couldn't talk to people, couldn't look people in the eye. I couldn't, you know, establish respect. I couldn't receive respect. It was just like I was a fly on the wall. And coming to Columbia, and I was like, I'm going to a new city. Nobody knows me, you know? So nobody will know if I'm acting out of my character. So I started talking, I started meeting people, I started being engaged, I started going to all these places, and I'm like being social, and I'm like, in my mind, like, these people have no idea. This isn't who I really am. But I was able to break out of being timid and shy and started to, you know, walk in rooms with presence and speak with presence and be able to sell somebody my own brand without them seeing any of my work, without them seeing a camera I have or what equipment I'm using or anything. And just different experiences that I have helped me to really go beyond the actual talent, but like give them that trust with just my voice. And then that makes it more appealing for people to want to work with me. And I know I am not the best photographer out here, I'm not the best director, but I know I'm enjoyable to work with.
What makes photography and just filming in general like fulfilling for you? You could take away like one thing, like that's what I love.
Yeah, I like when I turn the camera and I show somebody what I got out of them, and you can see them like light up, and it's like it's always that moment of like, this is how beautiful you are, you know. And I always love giving that to people over and over and over again. It's just that moment to celebrate themselves and be like, look at you, you know, like I think it's such an addition of self-love that I enjoy, where I'm like looking at people and I'm like showing them in their best light, and they just feel excited to see themselves in a good image where they feel great, you know? Like I don't think it has to be cocky, I don't think it has to be vain. It's like I love me, I think I look good, and I want to have a photo shoot. People walk in all the time, they're like, why are you here, you know? Why not? You know, and I'm like, I love it. I love it. There you go. For filmmaking though, I have a lot of a big love for filmmaking because it's the most fragile thing I've ever come in contact with. If one little thing is off, if the sound is off, is the audio, is the picture, or is the lighting bad, or is that actor just not giving it for me, that can throw you out of the entire thing. So if you watch a favorite movie and you just like it from beginning to end, like it's just an accomplishment. So anything that I pull off well on video is a big deal.
Let's talk about filmmaking specifically in that industry. Do you feel like, and talk about like your experience being like a Black filmmaker and representation. Can you just like talk on that for a second?
Mm-hmm. I remember being in college in film school, there was this organization called Black Sheep, and they were a group of Black filmmakers, and they were like, we're not getting enough representation in school, this and that, and complaining, and like, we want more roles, we want to be directors, we want this, this, and that. So I went to the meeting, and they screened their work, they had faculty come, they had all these people come to like encourage that they get more representation in the industry, which I supported, that's why I went. And they showed their work, and it just wasn't good. Like, it just wasn't good. And I understand when we feel like we are being stunted in this world, or like, you know, not getting what we need. But we know you come in this world and you look, you see your skin is Black, you have to be 10 times better than anybody else. And so I think in that moment I realized that it's like, yes, I get your point, but still, you still have to put out quality work. People shouldn't, I don't want people just like, give me something just because I'm Black and I'm, you know, a charity case, and like, oh, you're the diversity on, you know, for this, so we're just gonna put you in the front. Like, we're diverse, you know. It's like, no, I actually want to be seen as like a true, inspiring Black creative, not just to be hire just because I am black, or we need a black person to take this. Like, no, what about just me on top of being black? So I think that I want my work to speak for itself. I know like a lot of black people enjoy shooting with me. I do enjoy shooting with them as well, but I don't want to be limited to that. I want people to see my style and just really want to be a part of that, no matter what they know about me or not. But when they do meet me, yeah, I'm going to represent myself.
If you could like describe your art or your style in one word, what would it be?
If I could describe my style and my art in one word, the only thing I can even really say is just me. And when I say me, it changes from day to day. Sometimes I want to just shoot photography. Sometimes I want to have a beautiful model in a nice dope dress and just like have her out here in the abyss and the desert and just like get that moment and just feel so satisfied with it. And the other day I want to recreate Nacho Libre. You know, it's just like I feel so many different things where I'm like, I'm so inspired, and that's the fun thing about being an artist. And once you see the camera and you're like, wow, this is a tool. I see images all around me all the time. I'm scrolling on Instagram, I'm going to an art gallery and I'm seeing this, but I don't know how to use it. But once I did learn how to use the camera, I'm like, now I have access to make whatever I want. Mm-hmm. And so I think when you look at my page, yeah, you may see something that I may not see myself as far as a style, but I think I'm so into so many different things. Like, I'm not like somebody who has that super specific, I need this hue of pink in all of my images, or I need this white border on my whole Instagram. Like, I'm not like that. I'm very different in different shoots, and I try to be very diverse. I know the emotions I like, I know the colors that I like, but again, like, I work with so many different people. My whole thing is everybody deserves a photo shoot, and every single person that I shoot with is completely different. So my style cannot always be the same exact thing, but at the end of the day, I'm always going to come out in whatever that means. You know, there could be a single pencil left on the earth, but if we all wrote our names, our handwriting is going to be different every time.
Damn, yes, I like that. Come on, Jim. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about your merch? What's coming up? What's coming out?
So I'm actually wearing my merch. This is the Chollette UFO Champion hoodie. There's a huge design on the back, but I'm just gonna try to stay in the shot right now. Yeah. But it is a Chollette UFO where my friend Edo actually designed it. He's a very talented graphic designer, and I told him, I actually have two friends part of this. So my friend Terrell, he's the one who actually made my logo, which is in the shape of a C, and C for Chollette, but it's also the shutter of a camera. Inside there are shutter blades that go like this, and instead of the circle, I just cut it out to make a C for Chollette. Very simple, I love it, and it's my logo. And I wanted to make the logo into a UFO that was abducting me to more symbolize, like, I feel like my brand can take me anywhere that I want it to go once I finally like really grow into myself. And by becoming my brand, by attaching myself to my brand, I can really see just the potential of it. And I think it's very symbolic to me. But I also really love all types of music. I used to shoot concert festivals all the time, and I feel like the rock and the EDM had the most intense concerts, and you get the coolest shots. Mm-hmm. And so I used to love daydreaming about going on tour with like a rock band and getting some dope shots. And I just always loved their band tees, how there's like trippy visuals and so much going on. And that's what I did for this. And I actually tested out wearing like a Champion hoodie for the past few months, and I was like, man, this hoodie feels good, it's durable, it's thick, it's just really quality, and that's when I decided to go with Champion.
What do you want to show in your art or your work? Not just to everyone, but specifically to Black people of generations younger than us and older than us?
My main thing that I want to show in work and in storytelling is just the real strength that you can have, even if you don't believe it. Because I just feel like that's my story. I feel like I see students coming up all the time, like, how do you do this and how do you do that and that, and I'm like, listen, like, I probably had fewer odds than you probably had. You know, I'm not doing anything that takes any rocket science or anything, but I just made the decision to at least try to believe in myself today. And then it would just continue to grow and grow until I became that embodiment of what I want to be. And so I love an underdog story. I love inspiring stories. I love, you know, I love stories where it seems like there is no way, but there becomes a way. And I think that is the most inspiring to me, and that's what I want to show to people as well.
Top 5 equipment, like starter kit for a beginning photographer trying to start. Like, what would you tell them to get?
Well, 90% of the time you probably have an iPhone, so start with that. It is a camera. I know people try to separate phone from camera these days, but the way these cameras are in our pockets have been are incredible. People may know nothing about cameras except that they're expensive, and that's true. So before you get to that point, use what you have now. So start with your phone, download photo editing apps, download Pinterest, because, and I know you probably imagine me to say, oh, get this mic, get this lens, get this and this and that, but there's so much that goes into training your eye. I would just go on Instagram and be like, I'm kind of tired of seeing my friends' meals or their dog, like, I'm over it, it's not inspiring me. So I would literally mute all my friends, anybody that wasn't inspiring me. I'll check their page when I want to, that's fine, you know, or I'll call them if I want to and get out there in their life. But I would only try to see accounts that inspired me. And so like Photoshop would come up, or a photographer that was extremely better than me would pop up, or anybody that was inspiring, or I'll just scroll on Pinterest and just learn and train my eye of like what's good to me. So, or get a photo book, or go to a museum, or learn how to train your eye so that whenever you pick up any of this equipment, you'll know how to use those tools to get those images out of your head. Moment is a really cool brand that gives people lenses to attach to their actual phones. So you can just have a super wide, you can have a fisheye, you can have an anamorphic, and they cost like 150 bucks, and I think it's so worth it to just like try things. There's some like Instagrammers right now that are doing so well, and you don't even notice that they're using a lot of iPhone pics right now. And there's also a photographer named Swopes, who is major from Chicago, and she's in New York now, but she was really pushing iPhone photography. And I'm not saying like I shoot, I do sometimes, I take my phone, I'm like, I just want to get this on iPhone, you know, and I'll still post it. It doesn't have to be on the thousands of dollars I've spent on different equipment. That's for a different purpose, and this is for a different purpose as well. But I think that for people that are just starting, they may struggle on like the research, this and that, but like I really think that you have so much of what you need just being in 2021 right now at your disposal.
Yeah.